The White House says it's considering more stimulus, maybe less money than the last round. The former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang says he knows what Congress can do to avoid another Great Depression. The Emergency Money for the People Act. It would give $2,000 a month to adults making less than $130,000 a year, $4,000 to married couples making less than $260,000, and additional $500 per child up to 3 children. Andrew Yang ran for president as a Democrat. He also wanted the universal basic income. Andrew's with me now. Your plan is expensive. Even those who are in favour of it admit it will be expensive to implement. Just how expensive?
Well, Richard, we've already spent $3 trillion on stimulus packages. The problem is that most of that money did not go to American families. And so you're seeing right now the employment rate in the United States, despite the recent uptick, is below 55%. It was 61% pre-crisis. So that's over 10 million Americans who've gotten booted out of the labor force, and many of them are going to become increasingly desperate. America clearly has the resources to be able to make families whole and give people a secure path forward right now. We're just putting that money in the hands of the big companies and the banks and not our families. So that's what we need to change. And if we do that, we have a chance to still avert a Great Depression, because we can see that this crisis is going to keep on rolling on and on in the United States for months.
The universal basic income, those places where it's been tried, it has not been unduly successful.
It's been successful at every level in the studies I've seen, in every setting, where you see consistent improvements in health, mental health. Only 2 groups work at lower rates: new moms who spend more time with their children and teenagers who spend more time in school. So these are the results that we've seen in the US, in other countries. And this is particularly vital during a pandemic, because right now you have Americans who are unfortunately reopening bars and going back to work, in part because they don't have a choice. We have to give Americans a chance to actually pursue the right actions according to our public health experts, instead of feeling like they have to go out to be able to put food on the table.
Surely one of the problems with all these policies, universal basic income, all the various different ones, is that they get tainted by the other side with the branding of socialism. And there does seem to be a complete aversion to that in this country. So even Democrats shy away from policies which might be regarded as valid, but once they've been called socialist, as Bernie Sanders discovered, they go no further.
This isn't socialism, Richard. This is capitalism, where income doesn't start at zero. The fact is, putting money into people's hands will be good for businesses, be good for job growth, be good for maintaining the economy throughout this crisis. So we have to think bigger about, like you just said, common sense solutions. 74% of Americans are for direct cash relief during this time, including a majority of Republicans. So this isn't about socialism versus capitalism. This is about common sense ways that we can keep our economy strong and preserve millions of jobs through a multi-month shutdown.
If you look at Joe Biden and who he should pick for his vice presidential nominee, now, he said a woman. There are those who say it should be a woman of color. I guess you get to the point where you narrow the field, but do you narrow it on meritocracy?
No, I joke that Joe didn't mention that he was going to pick a woman when I talked to him like days before he made that announcement. But he has many incredible people to choose from. You know, I personally know several of the people that have been mentioned as front runners. And so to me, it's not an either or, in the sense that there are many incredibly qualified women who I know are being considered for his beat pick. And this is a very personal choice that Joe understands well, because he knows you need to have the right chemistry with a partner in governance. And so it's in Joe's hands who he's going to pick, and I'm sure he'll make a great decision.
Good to see you, Andrew. Thank you. We'll talk again as the election gets ever closer. I appreciate your time.
Put the money in our hands. 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 Can we afford it? Yes. Will it cause inflation? No. Is it awesome? Yes. Is anyone trying to make it happen? Yeah, that guy.